Historians of the future may argue it was sometime around right now, this very moment that we are living through, that something changed about the relationship between people and their technology. We were no longer controlling the devices, wielding them like magic wands, summoning food and human connection. Instead, the devices have begun to control us. This is something I've been worrying about for more than a decade. In fact, at the old Newsweek, in a cover story I wrote way back when, that Americans had merged with their machines. And that is only more true today, especially for young people. New survey results find that nearly half of teens say they are almost constantly online, and all of them just about are on the internet every single day. One recent estimate put it at about 8 hours of daily screen time. That's more than sleep. And it's 2 more hours than when I was first writing about this more than a decade ago. And yes, there are consequences, according to the research: sleep problems, mood swings, a decline in good things like outdoor and physical activity, and a rise in worrying things like body image issues. And it's all why a bipartisan group of members of Congress and parent advocacy groups and even tech companies, even Elon Musk, who owns X, are now asking lawmakers to pass something called the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA. It would require tech companies to protect children from the harm their platforms may cause, which at this point is a very long list. The bill passed the Senate 91-3 over the summer, but it's been held up in the Republican-controlled House as Speaker Mike Johnson says, yeah, I believe in the principles of the bill, but he says he's worried about how it will affect free speech. And that indeed seems to be the sticking point with Congress. So the question is, what now? Are we living through that moment of history, or is all this just another alert on our phones, Adriana?
Another thing to worry about with our phones, exactly. Well, joining us is a supporter of KOSA, Julie Scelfo. She's a former New York Times reporter and founder of Mothers Against Media Addiction. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this is a bipartisan bill, at least it passed with huge bipartisan support in the Senate. It's being called content neutral, so it's not policing the content. What does it do exactly, this bill?
So what KOSA does, it doesn't affect at all what we post, what our children post, what they search for. They'll still get the right results. All it does is restrict what the social media companies are allowed to do to your child, what they're allowed to send to your child.
What they push through the algorithms and...
Exactly. I mean, basically what KOSA does is it makes it so that Mark Zuckerberg can't profit off of sending your kids pornography or information about eating disorders.
So what is your theory here? Because, you know, conservatives who sometimes say their speech is stifled, people like Elon Musk, people like Donald Trump Jr., they say they're comfortable now with the way the bill is written, and yet you still have it held up with folks like Mike Johnson. What's going on here? How can Elon Musk, who's a free speech absolutist almost, be okay with this and others still hesitant?
You know, the tech companies control so much money, and they right now have almost no restrictions on what they can do. The last bill that Congress passed to make the internet safer for children was in 1998, and that was before iPhones, before TikTok, before Instagram. So they have spent... Truly.
Wow.
They have spent, according to the Wall Street Journal, about $100 million trying to prevent the Kids Online Safety Act from passing. So it's not really just about this bill. It's about the fact that they don't want any regulation. So it's not Republicans who don't want this to pass. It has 64 co-sponsors in the House, 32 Democrats, 32 Republicans. Attorneys general from, I think, 35 states sent a letter saying, please pass this. Right now, it's just Speaker Johnson, and frankly, I'm really confused by his behavior.
Yeah, because the lead sponsor is a Republican from Florida. The Snap, which is a social media company, they support it. Microsoft supports it. X supports it. It's really strange.
Well, you know, it was just announced recently that Meta is building a $10 billion AI data processing plant in Louisiana. And I don't know if that has something to do with it. I mean, the timing, I think, is sure quite a coincidence. But the only 2 people that I've heard of in the House who don't want this to pass are from Louisiana. Speaker Mike Johnson and Representative Steve Scalise.
So regardless of what happens, what can parents do now to help protect their children, especially from the addictive nature of social media?
Well, that's why I started MAMA. MAMA, or Mothers Against Media Addiction, is a grassroots movement of parents and allies fighting back against media addiction and creating a world where real-life experiences and interactions remain at the heart of a healthy childhood. And we work in 3 ways: educating parents, getting smartphones out of school so kids can learn and teachers can do their job. It's not really fair to teachers right now. now, and demanding safeguards like the Kids Online Safety Act. We need the Kids Online Safety Act to pass by Christmas, and so we really want them to act this week.
So you're rooting for it. Well, look, Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise, they've both been on the show before. They're invited back if they'd like to talk about this issue and what the holdup is from where they're sitting.
I would love for them to come back, and I'd also love to see the president-elect who said he wants to make America healthy again. I mean, this is an opportunity. This one bill could protect so many kids.
And we'll see what Elon Musk's endorsement means, if that can push this over the edge. Thank you so
The
much,
first
Julie.
buddy.
Thanks for having me, and people could visit joinmama.org to learn more.
Thank you so much.